Welcome to the CRM Essentials course. In the previous lesson, we covered the Analytics and Reporting module. In this lesson, we will delve into the User and Administration module. The User and Administration module is typically a management module within CRM systems, used to manage system users and related permissions. This module usually includes functions such as employee information management, department management, role and permission settings, approval workflows, account management, form management, and system settings. Through this module, administrators can manage user access permissions, define approval workflows, and configure system parameters. The User and Administration module in CRM systems typically includes the following feature sets. Employees, managing employee information, including names, contact information, and positions. Departments, managing information and organizational structure of various departments within the company. Roles, defining the permissions and responsibilities of different users within the system. Permissions, controlling user or role access to different functions and data within the system. Approval workflows, defining and managing approval processes within the system to ensure compliance and efficiency of business processes. Accounts, managing user account information and access permissions within the system. Forms, including various business forms, such as application forms and expense forms. Settings, configuring various system settings and parameters, such as language, time zone, and notification preferences. In this course, we mainly focus on roles and permissions. Depending on the specific circumstances of different companies, data such as employee and departments, which are typically managed in the OA system, may not be managed within the CRM system. We will begin by learning how to create roles. A role refers to a defined set of permissions and responsibilities assigned to a user or a group of users within the CRM system. Roles help to control access to data and functionality within the CRM platform, ensuring that users only have the necessary permissions to perform their specific job functions. This helps to maintain security and data integrity within the CRM system. The main function of roles is to assign permissions. Because different employees with the same job position will have the same permissions, the introduction of the concept of roles can expedite the process of permission assignment. You can see that roles include the following main features: add role, search role, edit role, assign role to users, set role permissions. We can initially omit the functionality to archive and delete roles. If a role is associated with users, deleting it would result in all users losing their permissions, potentially causing system errors. We can achieve the same goal by enabling and disabling roles. The core process of assigning permissions to users involves adding roles in the role management page, setting role permissions, and assigning the roles to users. This way, users indirectly own permissions. The benefit of this design is the reduction of redundant direct association of permissions with users. Next, let's create the data structure. First, duplicate a sheet and name it F5-1 roles. Change the title to F5-1 roles as well. In the Basic Info section, we need a role name and description. In the Source Info section, we need an updated time. In the Status Info section, we need a role status with two states, enabled and disabled. In the Relevant Module section, we need users and permissions, where users refer to employees. We will use users to represent employees on the interface. Based on the data structure, we will create the interface. First, duplicate the Contracts folder and its branches. Rename it to Roles and modify several page names. Go to the Role Management page and change the page title to Roles. We need a role status with options Enabled, Disabled, and All. Enabled should be the default selection as it is the most commonly used option for searching. We also need a role name option for searching. Change the table title to Role Table and remove all tabs. Rename the button to New Role. We need a role name. Users, to indicate the number of users assigned to the role. Role status. Description. Created by, updated time, and created time. In the Operations section, we need an Assign to Users option for assigning roles to users. Rename the dynamic panel on the right to Assign to Users. We also need a permissions for setting role permissions. Go to the Assign to Users dynamic panel and change the title to Assign to Users. Duplicate a search bar and a table. Change the button name to Submit and add a Back button. Duplicate a Submitted Successfully notification. Add a click interaction to Submit to first hide the panel, then show the notification, wait for 2000 milliseconds, and then hide the notification. Duplicate a dynamic panel to display the list of users under a role. Name it Users. Add a close button and interaction. In the list, add a click interaction to the Users button to show the Users dynamic panel. Add a click interaction to the Edit button to link to the Edit Role page. Go to the New Role page. Change the page title. We need a username. Duplicate a role status. Change remarks to description and delete unnecessary elements. Copy all page elements and paste them into the Edit Role page. Modify the page title and the interaction of the Submit button. Go to the Permissions page. Change the page title to the format Role Name plus Permissions. Remove unnecessary elements. Add a All Permissions checkbox for selecting or deselecting all permissions and move it to the right of the title. Next, we will create a collapsible list for permissions. Remove all tabs. Break away the first state of the dynamic panel. Change the subtitle to Page Permissions and delete elements of other states. Regarding permissions, there are typically page permissions and data permissions. Page permissions typically refer to a user's access rights to different pages or functions within the system. This includes whether the user has permission to view, edit, or delete specific pages or functions. Page permissions are usually associated with user roles to ensure that users can only access pages and functions within their job responsibilities. Data permissions, on the other hand, refer to a user's access rights to data within the system. This includes whether the user has permission to view, modify, or delete specific data records. Data permissions are typically associated with user roles and data ownership to ensure that users can only access the data they need and do not have unauthorized access to other data. First, create a dynamic panel for the page permissions title. On the right, create checkboxes for All, Read, Add, Edit, and Delete to control the selection of columns. Then, create the content for the rows, including the page name and checkboxes. Use the names of feature sets to represent the collections of page management, add page, and edit page. We don't need to single out one of these 3 pages separately. Add a state to the dynamic panel for the title to create a collapsible state. Add an interaction to the dynamic panel to toggle the visibility of the content below and select Push Widgets Below. Set the dynamic panel state to the next one and check Wrap from last to first. Similarly, create data permissions. In data permissions, we can add data analysis, sales analysis, customer analysis, marketing effectiveness analysis, forecasting and trend analysis, opportunities, etc. These are mainly used to control data permissions in analytics and reporting. Duplicate 2 buttons. Change the notification to Saved Successfully and modify the button text. Add a click interaction to show and hide the Saved Successfully notification. Go to the Frame page. Add a click interaction to the Roles navigation to open the Roles page in an inline frame. Go back to the Role Management page. There is an error here. We need to modify the title and table content of the User's dynamic panel. We need a username, employee ID, department, phone number, and a status column. Then, preview the prototype on the Frame page. Go to the Role Management page. You can search for roles, add roles, edit roles, view users assigned to roles, assign roles to users, and set role permissions. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel, give me a like, and share with others. Thank you.